Well, hey now, folks. John Duffin here with Duffin Media. Welcome back to another episode of Deep Divin with my partner in crime, Shad Levine. Good morning, buddy.
What's up, buddy? How are you today?
My superstar, my motivational coach. It is always good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I am. It's funny. We're like between seasons at the moment. I feel like physically, and the mental effects of that. It's like you kind of get a teaser a little bit. Like you walk outside and you're like, and then you have to run back in for the coat, and you're like, when will this freaking sun stay, and when will the warmth come in? You know,
right? You know the old cliched at of Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football. And you think that it's like, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. She's really going to hold it this time. And then pulls the ball away and you're landing on your rear end. And that's where it's like, that's what I feel like, man. I want to get to the winter coats, but we will get there. What's happening in your world, brother?
Nothing, man. Just working, growing every day. You know, and I tell everyone this: when you find what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and it's true. It's following passion, and my biggest hope for everybody, it's not about the riches. It really isn't. If you can do what you love day in and day out, and also be able to pay your bills, of course. So that's a luxury. In my opinion, the luxury is doing what you love and affording to be able to do it. But if you do it, honestly, you just feel blessed. And it sounds like, when people say it and they don't mean it, you don't buy into it. But I actually mean it, man. Like, it took me a while. I've done some career changes and I'm still in the process of getting there. But between the mortgage lending and the personal coaching and hopefully some speaking, I really feel like I've found things that fulfill me, John. I really do.
I love, and that the fulfillment word is big. I also believe too, you know when you're doing the right thing in that regard. And I don't mean just in the making decisions, but I also mean when you're really serving somebody, when you see it in their face and their reactions, and it feels great to you. I've had that. Nothing makes me happier than when I get to coach a client and you just see, the body language is a personal favorite of mine. When they nod their head, like they know they got it. You know what I mean? That sense.
But it's funny, John. It's like you and I will have conversations before the shows, and we think we know where we're going, and we're pretty sure we're there. But then you'll say things that just resonate. And you don't even realize it. It's the servitude. It's the fact that you have certain skills, right? I don't care what your profession is, but you have skills that you're able to deliver to someone. And when those skills provide value and you can visibly and tangibly see that, that's it.
That's it. And so I believe as that is so, that premise to me feels easy to agree with. Then I would think, as that is so, then you owe it to the person, the groups, the audience, your clients, prospects, or whatever, to deliver for them. If that's great, you know what I mean? Then it is your responsibility as a coach.
100%.
Coach, I feel compelled that I can't just ad lib, flying by the seat of your pants, whatever cliche you want to roll with, that it's more, preparation is key. There are a series of steps, which is key. What we're going to talk about today, consistency.
John, I got to tell you, man, I'm feeling a pivot in the topic.
Oh, how so?
I think I think we can do another episode on what we were going to talk about.
Okay.
But I think finding your calling feels kind of good today.
Then let's roll with it, brother. I always trust my friend and my co-host. I really do, because it's fun, because here's one of the cool parts about finding and identifying your calling, right? Which is you need sounding boards, right? Which we just demonstrated.
Oh my God. I am a mess without a sounding board.
Right? If you're just going to stand up and decree, I'm gonna, right? Great, follow your heart. But ain't it better when you are following with feedback,
Yep.
with that sense of inclusion, with that sense of pivoting, which we just did, right?
Yep.
So you don't have to take your heart out of the game. Oh, I think you should be an accountant. God bless accountants. God bless them. I'm not one. And thank God you're there. But you can listen to feedback to make sure that whatever that calling happens to be, you're on point. Now, folks, speaking of format and on point, we have a format to the show. And one of the ways that we go about it is this, a very loose 2-minute timer in regards to explaining the benefits of pivot and of your calling. You go with this, brother?
Do it, bro.
There you go.
I put you on your toes with this one, though.
You're right. I'm really bad. I always do my thumb, and it's weird. But anyway, so yeah. So to me, let me give you an example. And I'm looking at the timer. There you go. All right. Boom. So here's an example as to me in terms of finding your calling, because I'll go with the basic premise, which is this: you're just not as good at what you do if it ain't true to you. I'm saying ain't a lot today, but that's okay. Here's the deal, that it has to be true to you, because if you're just phoning it in, mailing it in, well, your clients, your audience feel it, and then they become compromised. So why it's important to identify the calling, identify what's true to you is this. Here's how I knew. So at the end of my corporate career, I knew. And how I knew that I was fading in that field and ready to pivot and elevate to a new one was the sense of this. On the downside, all the things I loved, I didn't love so much anymore. You know, the travel, I loved it until it became like, oh my God, I got to go to such and such again. And those are signs that you need to snap out of it and wake up. Right. I was only going predominantly to great places. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a Willie Loman schlepping around deal. I was going to great places. I got to do great things, and I wasn't enjoying it. So when I showed up, I still prepared. I still put my heart into it, but you can tell the difference. So how did I know? 2 examples. First example, my career after corporate began as a voiceover artist. And so how did I know that was the right move? I remember I was working, it was about 11 p.m., and I was working on my first job. Why the time mattered was I didn't care that it was 11 p.m. I wasn't putting the limits like, oh, this is late and you didn't. I was totally in. Thought it was awesome. Felt amazing, right? And then second example, when I pivoted to become an executive coach, a corporate sales coach, an executive mentor. When I worked with my first client, and that client, when we were speaking, shook his head to me, like with a big smile on his face, that he understood and he got it. And there was something to it, and compounded with, comes back to me and said, hey, I tried X that you suggested, and here's how it rolled. That made me feel so great. That's when I knew I found my calling. So what did I do? I really went all in, invested in training, invested in coaching. It's needed. Using feedback, the sounding boards of people that matter, like we just did, and tightening up the ship so that now I am crystal clear on what I want. And that is simply because I had to figure out what it was that brought my heart in. And this is it, where I add value. And now I know it's proven. I'm not speaking all that for me, but what I'm saying is I get results and people tell me that. So then I keep leaning in harder. More training, more research, more examples, you know what I mean? More ways to find me. And that's, to me, why it's so important to follow my calling, because I help other people. And that, to me, helps me exponentially. I don't mean financially, although that's great. I mean, it does my heart good, and I know I'm serving properly. So that's, to me, that was 2 minutes and 30 seconds, by the way. So it was a little long, but I'm going to say, right? A little windy, but I guess you're used to that, folks, as you're watching, at least from my side. But I will tighten that up. And that's why, to me, it works. Brother, you want to take a roll of that?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, it's funny. When you connect with something, I don't even care what it is. It doesn't even have to be a profession. It can be a hobby. It can be an individual. I don't care what it is or what you're doing. The ability to identify something of interest and then follow it through, right, is something that takes a lot. It takes skill. It takes time. It takes care. It takes patience. You know, the ability to find something that's resonating with you and then act on it is something overall. And what I mean by that is you're going to find fulfillment in all different parts of your life. Some people may just stick in their job because it's an amazing job that puts food on the table and it gives them retirement. And they found other ways to fulfill other aspects, right? Hobbies, sports, exercise. I go on and on and on and on and on. But the most important thing is is A, the ability to recognize it, B, the ability to acknowledge it, right? Because it's one thing to say, hey, what's going on? And then it's another thing to acknowledge that it's going on and then to bring it to light and connect with it. They're all the evolution of this process. But what I love about it the most is when you find it and connect with it and someone asks you about it, it's like you're jumping out of your seat to tell them. Right? And that's not sales, guys. That is storytelling, right? So it is a big difference when someone says, you know, John, let's call a spade a spade. The coaching business is one that is saturated with a lot of bullshit. Right?
Sure.
A lot of people they do this and they do that and the ba 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 ba. You can see right through somebody if they're not able to provide A, value, and B, to truly connect with it. Because if it's just a matter of them selling you one of their programs and you not being able to consult with them, it's bullshit. It's meaningless. It's a waste of your time and it's a waste of your money. And, you know, that happens in a lot of industries. It really does. People that some of them fake it till they make it. Some of them fake it and never make it. Right? Some of them fake it and never make it. And the reason that is because maybe A, they don't want to put the time into it. And maybe B, it's really not for them. It's not their calling. It's not what they're built to do. You and I aren't of that nature because we truly enjoy it. I enjoy, you know, and it's funny. The reason I've evolved into calling what I do coaching is because in mortgage lending, I coach clients, I coach realtors, I coach everyone in the process. When the deal is under contract, I become everything, right? It's my responsibility to effectively communicate, to provide confidence, to make sure everyone's informed. So all I'm doing is taking the skill sets that I found that I love and doing it to other things, right? But I've connected with it and I figured it out. And that's why, put it simply, John, when someone asks me what I do, I'm very concise. I help people get shit done. Period. And I do it in a way that will resonate with them. The message is customized, just like you do your message received. It's customized in a way and it's built in a way to do that. That is what we do, John. We are message givers and we find ways for the message to be received. What a great way for you to title your podcast, because it makes so much sense.
That's so kind of you to say. Thank you, brother. And I love the passion. Listen, folks, as you're seeing, the passion that comes through my man and coach, Chad Levine, you see it and feel it. That's hard. People try to manufacture it, and you know when they do. You clearly know when they do.
Yeah. You can't. But it's bullshit, John.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Bullshit.
And even more on point, which is there are a lot of suspicious people in the world, so they may come in with the idea, all that energy, but you realize if you've got a brain in your head where you can feel energy, you realize when it's legit.
Yeah.
And And those are the people that you gravitate toward. I'm lucky in that, again, as you just said, in regards to the podcast, the whole deal was, to me, removing distractions. That's the whole deal for the podcast, for the coaching, for everything. Like for myself, it's removing distractions. People are grabbing their phones and oh wait, that might be, or this is, oh wait, I have to handle this, and they're not hearing you. And when they are speaking, presenting, like, look, it sounds like such a cliche, but my whole mantra now: anytime you are speaking for money, important conversations, applying for a job, going for a promotion, trying to keep your seat in the boardroom and avoid being ignored or dismissed. Anytime you're trying to close a sales deal, if money is involved, you need to be heard. And I don't mean volume. I mean simply what you intended to say is conveyed, and people are not finishing their sentences or in their mind thinking, oh, that must mean, they get it. And so that's the whole deal. Where my passion comes from is twofold, which is, number one, I've seen people not get their message conveyed. Whether they were employees in the company that, or my sales teams or whatever. It happened to me early in my career. And to me, it was heartbreaking. And I always felt like if I came up short, it's like, well, if I'd only said, or if they only knew. And that's, to me, separates in terms of the communication cycle and the passion.
And John, I don't want to cut you off, but you make such good points, right? And the point is, right, if you aren't relentless in your pursuit to get your message heard, and it's never heard, sadly, you will face so much rejection that you may stop. You may give up, right? And I'll tell you the truth, that sucks. It sucks. It really does. But at the same time, the purpose of today's episode and the practicality of it is, how do we help people find their calling, find the things that resonate with them so that they become relentless in delivering that message? Because I'm telling you right now, I am going to tell you who I am and what I do. I'm not going to shove it down your throat. I'm going to look for the door. The door is going to be there. And you have to have the most successful people, in my opinion, have the ability to see the door when it's there and have the ability to get in the door when it opens.
So I love every bit of that. And I remember being coached a couple years ago that this was, and this is a big deal, Chad, the sense that when I was first time I got to speak in front of an audience, I had a general point and it worked out. Here's where it got tighter and better, was that I had someone work with me and say point blank, introduce yourself and tell them what you do immediately. And so clearly, succinctly, that was hard for me. I tend when I'm, not at my best, to be all over the place. What I've learned when I am tight, which is typically, I'm grateful to say, anytime I'm speaking for money, my percentages are high, but they're not 100% because nobody's are, right? And I'm not trying to be arrogant, but what I mean is this: it's easy for me to say it now. It took me time to figure it out. I don't.
And John, let me ask you an honest question. Right?
Yeah.
Point blank. This is part of our format, by the way, everyone. So it's me interviewing John. That comes in later on.
Always good with that.
You just said it took you time.
Yeah.
Do you think it took you time because you had to make the physical connection inside to say, this is what I'm meant to do. This is who I am. This is what I love to do. Because once you connect and you acknowledge, do you then just become naturally, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do?
I got to tell you, that's a great question, first off. And secondly, the direct answer is yes. So I was successful.
I knew the answer. I just wanted you to give it to me.
I'm grateful to say I was successful early on in my ad sales and sales management career. I'm grateful to say that. But I had a lot of flaws. So there was I'll give you two quick examples from a personal side that have manifested to my professional side.
Sure.
And they both had a big factor. one may sound weird, but it's very true, which is coming out of the closet at 40 years old.
Sure.
Most people take a more direct path.
Yeah.
Or at least a faster one, right?
Sure.
It was a very direct path that I took, but I didn't do it until I was over 40. So I was always walking into a room, a boardroom, a client's office, an ad agency, my sales teams, with a sense of, if you figure this out, there's going to be a problem. I can't let you know. So it is really, at least I'll speak for me, really hard to be really clear and concise. This is what I do. Anytime we're
But you want to know something that's interesting?
Huh?
It's really interesting. The way you present, right, and the way you speak.
Yeah.
You know, you are so fine-tuned, and I'm guessing that's through years of perfecting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I think I'm guessing at this point, do you even think about it anymore?
Well, when I'm on the actual stage, like when
no, but just in general conversation, do you think about it?
100%. And here's why I'm going to point to. Yeah, because I want to be able to serve the audience, the client, well. So the thinking about it is, okay, let me work through. I still do my homework, man. And I suggest everybody I coach, I still do my homework. And I don't mean fearful, buttoned up, reserved. I mean simply, if I'm serving you, I'm coming in at 100%.
Right.
I've done it with PA announcing. I'm doing my homework, pronouncing names. I'm doing it in front of clients. I know their backgrounds. When I'm recording a podcast, I won't come in ice cold.
Yeah.
But I am never scripted anymore. I am never scripted.
I love that.
The preparation allows me to improvise.
But I also think, John, you know, I'm going to put I'm going to call your bullshit out for a minute, okay? And I'm doing this for the benefit of, here's why, right? I think, and if I'm wrong, you can tell me.
Yeah.
A lot of the preparation is fear and worry and anxiety and a little lack of confidence. When you become confident, you don't need to prep for shit. You want to know why? Because you're a badass motherfucker that can deliver. And I'm sorry if you bleep this out in the post edit, that's fine. But you're a badass. You're passionate, you're driven, you love what you do. And there's no way, no how someone's not going to feel that when they talk to you. Because as soon as they say, hey, what do you do? Whoa, right? Yep. That door's wide open now, and I'm going to deliver that knockout.
Love the perspective. Disagree with most of it. And I'm going to say, but what I would say is this.
I love it. That's fine.
I feel in my heart that, again, there's a sense of responsibility now.
That's what makes this show good, by the way, John.
Right?
John, that's what makes this show good. I'm actually totally fine that you disagreed with all of it.
Most of it. There's still a little bit of Johnny from Northeast Philadelphia getting beat up with my book bag coming back from Billy McDonald. Is there that? Hey, the Billy McDonald's listening. I got way tougher, but I still don't want to get whacked around with a book bag. So
I love it. I love it.
Most of it is this. When I am engaged, and it's like I said again, client, prospect, agency, speaking, what have you, I want to be able to be at my best. So
no, that part I get. That part I get. But I'm saying I've seen
about the lack of confidence and all that stuff.
No. That wasn't. I didn't mean it in that way. What I meant is I know you're a polished professional because you've connected with the fact that this is who you are and this is what you do, and you treat it as a profession, right? That's 100%. That's not even what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Certain roles that I've seen you develop, because you didn't start off with the coach. You did certain aspects of the coaching, but you developed more in the attitude and mindset and all of those 100%. Things outside of the voice. As you've developed and as you've seen what you can do, you become more confident. And because you become more confident, you become less scripted. That's what I mean. Well,
that part I got. And therefore, yes.
Sorry, it took me a while.
That's funny because people say that about me often. I love that. That makes me feel good, right? That it's not just me too, but right.
Yeah.
There's this sense, time, age, experience, whatever. I I've banged my head a lot. My whole mantra when I'm working with people is this, and it's still true, which is I don't doubt my ability. You're right about. I just don't. But what I do say is, if I can get anyone, to the finish line faster than I got, if I can get you to the point of confidence without banging your head along the way as often as I did, and notice the past tense term, so maybe you're right. That, you know what I mean? That it's well, then I've done my job. Like, you don't need to wait till you're technically 42 to come out of the closet because you're so afraid. But
John, I'm going to make this simple for you now, right?
Right.
Whatever point it was in your life that you found your calling.
Yeah.
Right.
It was in my 40s.
40s, right? And when you found your calling, everything changed. Things tasted better.
Everything changed.
The beauty, everything looked better. Everything sounded better. All of your senses were right because you found that calling, right? So my question to you now is, John.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Q Duffin. I don't know what your middle name is. John Duffin.
And John M. Duffin. But
you're at the pearly gates, right? You're at the pearly gates.
Yeah.
And you're going to sum it up. Period. What is your calling? What was your calling in life?
I help people speak confidently when it matters the most to them.
I love it. And the fact that you're there is the whole point of today's episode, right? Which is for everyone to be able not to deliver the message at the pearly gates, because at that point it's a little late, but
or maybe not. Maybe it's great, but I'm gonna say, but I don't know. So I'd rather stay here and hash it out. You know what I mean? No kidding, man.
But my whole point in saying that is it's an amazing thing to get there, right? No matter who you are or what you do, everyone has some aspect of a calling. And when you can connect 100%. With that, when you can connect with that and it becomes part of your everyday life, you're that much more fulfilled.
Everything 10X's. Oh my God, so well said. I don't even need to amplify that. That's so true. That's the gift. I call it the gift because it is a gift. Yeah. That it is.
And that's your gift, man. That is your gift. Your gift is you're caring, you're empathetic, you speak well, but you make people feel comfortable enough to give you that information, and you can help them devise a plan and a path to get to where they need to be.
Buddy boy, and I find with you, I will answer. I'm a big believer in that you have to earn the right to get someone to answer honestly so that you get to solve a problem. So your gift, in my opinion, is you ask very direct questions, but you proceeded, and this is the big part, man, which is the sense of humor, kindness, openness, so that here's the word, I feel safe answering the question with you. And that's, to me, I think the strongest gift, that sense of you provide a sense of warmth, safety, protection. And so you could be direct. What was from a former life? What were we referring it as our weekly kicking
the arse? Right.
Well, you can't launch there. You know what I mean? Because people are like, well, who's this clown? You know what I mean? But that's the gift, so that when you deliver the weekly kick in the arse, that therefore, then okay, fine, accepted, I'll roll with it. And that's the part. See, that's the gift, man, is how you're able to help somebody. Because listen, we can all Google techniques, how to be a good coach. Click. Oh, be this, be that. But I'm a massive.
Or in general, how to be good at whatever, man.
At whatever.
Like, how to be good at whatever you do, right? And it sucks to be stuck doing things that are just paying bills, and you're just literally drudging through the day. And let's be honest, John, that's most people.
Oh, sure.
That's most people. And the whole point of today's episode is to find something that resonates with you and becomes a calling for you, so you get some additional fulfillment out of your day.
Because it is life-changing. And
Absolutely.
find the sounding boards that you can lean into, that you are then able to feel a little more safe, protected, and that you're willing to take the leap because
I love that.
you feel that way.
I
And
love
that's
that.
what, you know what I mean? And that's the real
Yeah.
gift, brother.
Yep. Yep. I agree, dude. I 100% agree. I think we did it, man. 30
Well,
minutes,
that's
17
impressive,
seconds. We deep dove the hell out of that one.
Hey, we are very murky waters and rose back to the top. So nicely done for that, Levine. I love you, brother. Thank you for a great episode.
Yeah, brother. I hope everyone enjoys these shows. If you do, please hit us up. We love feedback. We want comments. We want you guys to tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We're hoping if this makes you think and feel a little bit differently, then we're doing our job.
Damn right, man. And like you said, we will answer every comment, every suggestion, good, bad, or otherwise. And that's why, and this is why we get to do what we do. John Duffin here, Duffin Media, Duffin Coaching, with my superstar motivational coaching pro, Chad Levine. You just heard another episode of Deep Diving. And dude, I aspire, I can't. But anyway, so you handle that. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Peace.